All right, we are live. Let us refresh and get situated here. It's still not there. Still refreshing. And all right, we are here. We are live. Good to go. Daniel says first live show. Good to see you, Daniel. Thanks for all the help. Couldn't thank you enough. Appreciate that. Glad you are here. And today, really good show. Hustle B in the house. Want to say what's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Finally, this will be the show that me and Hustler Hacks actually talked about the topic. This one's not a surprise. We actually talked about it a little bit last night, so we're a little bit prepared here. Should we tell them every? Should we tell everybody? I guess it's on the title. We're gonna be talking about my top 10 rookie mistakes as an eBay seller. So I'm quite new to the game. Been a little bit over a year, but still a lot to learn.
There we go. Let's see who's in the house first. Top chat. Let me Mullah. Good to see you. Luis Zombries, Mercurial Venom, Wayne Static Glove is here. District Deals, Steve Sales, Hustle and Muscle. One dislike. Who the hell wants to get destroyed? Just kidding. Hustle and Silence is here. JS Videos. Oh man, yeah, Steve is here. Oxen Hill Gang, Derek, some more people coming in. So before we start on the topic, though, we do have some news. Jim, good to see you too. I'm going to talk about Jim for a little bit because he had a really good question. He sent me an email. I think it's a pretty good topic. So before we start, number one, yes, Kawhi Leonard has been traded, but that's not part of the news. Your face.
I'm very. It's a mixed emotion for me. I just wanted him to be on a good team, but man, Toronto, come on.
They could. I mean, they're good. They just can't beat anybody once playoffs start.
Yeah, they'll make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Fabian, what's up? Brian the Oak, what's up? So number two, actually more serious news, but so eBay. This has come out from Bloomberg, ABC, a couple of other websites. Number one, eBay gives disappointing outlook. Apparently lackluster sales forecast for the third quarter, and they lowered their revenue guidance for the year. It says on here, worrying investors that the online marketplace is losing momentum as a critical holiday season approaches. Shares dropped 5%. And then to add on to that, eBay is actually cutting about 300 jobs from their Bay Area location. And they did confirm it. So it's not like one of those wild rumors that, I don't know, random websites throw on there. So they're calling it a mass layoff, 300 jobs, and apparently by July 20th, which is only in 2 days,
Wow,
to lay off 300 people, which is
right before eBay opened.
yeah, which is pretty crazy. Right before eBay open, and according on here, it just says that while the company's revenue was up 9.6 billion last year from 9 billion the prior year, it took a loss of 1 billion. So in the first quarter of this year, eBay's profit slipped 60.7 year over year to 407 million. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of stuff is kind of going on. Of course, we've gone through different problems as well with the platform, missing photos and all this other random stuff. We also know about the free returns, and they've always been about the buyer. They've been about the buyer even more now. So I know a lot of sellers have also been kind of discouraged about it. But now we get to see it, at least in the news, on what's going on. So let me know in the chat, what do you think about eBay? What are they doing wrong? What can they improve on? What do you think about the layoffs and the news about that? B, what do you have to say?
Man, I don't know. I mean, for a company to do that, company that big, it has to have something because, of course, it's not just driven by a person now. It's voted by a board, and there has to be something behind it. I think I think eBay should be able to explain it better, maybe at least to the seller. But I'm not really worried about it because, like I said, it's not just a one man show. Like a person can make a mistake, but a group of person probably is steering it to something better. Of course, the mass layoff, it's not good for the people that's gonna get laid off, but that's 300 less people that they have to worry about paying, and maybe a certain budget is being allocated to someplace else. Um, Especially talk about the change and stuff like that. I mean, at least they're doing something. They're not being stagnant. Just a sinking ship. Maybe ship's getting too heavy. Let's throw off 300 people outside the boat or something like that.
Look at this
Uh,
guy. This guy's
uh,
brutal out there.
Man, it's corporate. That's what happens. Or maybe it's the 300 people that don't answer the phone or something.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Yeah, we don't know what the 300 people do. Um, some of the comments. Let me go back. Wayne Static Love says, "Keep up with the trends." Will says eBay needs to hire hustler hacks and hustle to fix it. I don't know if that's possible.
That might be the answer. Maybe we'll talk to him next week. We'll see him. Maybe we could do some consulting for them or something. At least, at least get the BN hacks in there.
Yes, as Brian says, the killer bee, since apparently he wants to throw 300 people off ship. Let me see. Hustle and Muscle, they're trying to follow other models, like Amazon Poshmark. They said stay the way they used to be. I think it's complete opposite. I think that they're just staying the way they've always been and not making changes.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be like Amazon at all.
Yeah.
Amazon is its own beast. That I mean, don't even try.
Yep.
Do your own thing and do it the best way you can, but
True.
also learn from other platforms that are also doing well in different ways. I think that eBay's never really saw any competition,
Yep.
so they've just kind of stayed the same. I mean, if no one's really going to step up to compete with them, why change things? But now with, of course, Poshmark probably say would be the next one. OfferUp, Mercari. I mean, these are other things you can also be selling on, but there's a lot more out there now. And Poshmark, we've always talked about the shipping being way easier. So there's different things that I think they could take and make it their own way to boost eBay. But I don't know.
True. True. True.
Let me see. 300 people on how many total employees as a percentage? That's a good question. It didn't say in here on this article how
Yeah.
many
Probably
employees they have.
not even a percent. Imagine a 9 billion company revenue money making company. They should have at least what 100,000 people. If you think about it.
Possibly. I mean, they do have several locations. Let me see. All the coupons from eBay was a sign of issues, which, yeah, I mean, I think they also just trying to compete with Amazon by throwing in like random little
Yeah.
coupons and issuing those out, and then you're like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, didn't even work.
Yeah, some of them, but I think that was a good thing. I mean, if there's some issues, I think you have to kind of like take less money. That's a sign of eBay taking, basically giving away the 10% that they're getting from us.
Yeah.
I think that's good because uh uh going back when I started last year, I haven't seen this much coupon within the last 6 months. I personally had to buy stuff on eBay because the coupons were so good. So I think that's good. I read a lot on Twitter. I don't post a lot there, uh, but I've seen eBay links being posted more about good deals because it's usually just Amazon stuff. But now, because of the coupon codes and stuff like that, uh, eBay's link is getting thrown out there. So that just brings in more buyers, or at least some traffic to eBay's website. So I think that was a good thing.
Mr. Sports LA, eBay feels old. Young kids don't want to shop on eBay. None of my kids do, which is also
True.
very, very true because a lot of, let's say, I would probably say at least 16 through 19 years old. I mean, they're probably just doing either Amazon or Poshmark or other sites. They're not
Yeah,
shopping
that's
on
true.
eBay.
mean, just perfect example. When me and Glenn go out and eat during our out hustle trips, we actually ask the waitress or the waiter, "Do you shop on eBay and stuff like that?" Just to make a feel. But when usually it's on the younger, like they're still in school, uh, a lot of them don't even shop on eBay. So that's the biggest thing. But at the end of the day, the market is so big. I think, I mean, there's more over, let's just say, 25 and over population than 19 under. So I
Yeah,
think that's why eBay's still winning globally.
very true. Let me see. I started eBay June 6th of this year. I've seen about 6 coupons. That's
That's
what
awesome.
Javier says. Paper Drew, you'll see more eBay links because our affiliate program is now a bit better. Poshmark
Oh,
and
I didn't
TV
know that.
spitting out $5 off first order coupons. There we go. Yeah, so I want to throw out there. So kind of going away from a little bit of that topic. Jim, want to say what's up? Nice little shout out. Had a pretty good question, and I wanted to get Hustlebees also get his response to it. As far as building up capital during this time on fines and building up your store, if someone is struggling on capital, what I guess advice would mean you give them to kind of build up their store and go from there? Now, my take on it was just being a little bit more pickier on the fines and research wise. Like when you're out there, I wouldn't just pick up cleats because they're cheap. Like they're 19.99. Hey, they're there. I'm gonna snatch them up and I'm gonna list them and get whatever I can for them. Blah blah blah. But at the same time, would you rather reinvest that money into something else that could come, I don't know, down the road that's going to be worth it? Like, let's say some of these, I mean, some of these women's cleats that came out, if you guys watched the miniature out hustled yesterday, then yeah, it's a different story compared to maybe like some of the random football cleats that have come out, and then we're just gonna snatch them all up and sell them, and see what happens from there. We can reinvest that money in something else, especially now. I mean, Nike, friends and family deals. There's different things out there I think you could reinvest in, and also I guess don't be. I mean, you don't have to return every single thing you get, but if it happens, it happens. And if you have to swallow your pride and like, hey, this was a bad buy. I still have the receipts though. I can return it. Don't make it a regular. But hey, like not all buys are gonna be awesome. And if you feel like, hey, at least I can get the money back on this, I can reinvest in something else and use that. And also just getting rid of a lot of your lower end stuff. If some of your lower end stuff is not selling, it's been there for a while. Take a smaller percentage on what you would get for it. In some cases, even some of the really bad buys, man, as long as I get my money back, cool, I'll buy something else. That can also work as well, but keeping your ASP higher if that's something you want to do and reinvesting in better things. What do you think?
Um, that's true. I feel like the reason why um, I have learned a lot and faster because of the capital limitations I have. A lot of people think that having less money is a disadvantage. I think it's an advantage because from what I've seen people have money and they just go all out and just buy everything, and they end up making more mistakes. I think having lesser money will actually make you more frugal and actually make you research more. And we're gonna talk a lot more about that. But I think the biggest thing is knowing that you can only buy 5 pairs a week is an advantage when it comes to the learning portion of it, because you don't want to waste your money on things that's gonna sit longer or things that you don't even have a clue about. So I'd say that, and I'd say one thing that I wish I learned earlier was the goodwill stuff. Thrift stores. To build capital, I think that's a very good area to be in and to go. If you're not as stubborn as I was when I started, because I never wanted to go in goodwills and garage selling. There's a lot of money to be made there. You gotta pick your poison. It's you grow slower, or you try to go garage sailing and thrifting to build that capital, because that's where a lot of the big home runs were. I mean, my biggest flip was a seven. Well, one of my biggest flip was a $7 tennis racket. I sold it for 225. So you can't find that. I mean, that's very rare in the shoe game.
And first, shout out to Ashwo and Panda Rose for being here. Paper Drew, yes, less money equals being more mindful about the things you pick up, just like what you said. And also, I just wanted to throw out there too is when you're out there at the stores, don't be afraid to just walk away from some of the finds. Like if it doesn't work in your business model, if you're iffy and you have that feeling, man, I'm really just not sure about this find if it's gonna work or not.
Don't push it.
Yeah, don't push it, don't force it because a bunch of people on Instagram are posting photos. I need to get in here and do something. I feel like people are doing better than me. Don't worry about any of that stuff. You got to do you. And if you don't have that feeling that you feel 100% confident in whatever you have and your buy, then leave it. More finds are going to come you that same day or the next day or the following day. As long as you keep going, you're sourcing, you're trying, better finds are out there. Trust me. So let me see. Where are we? Some of the search started a few months ago. Learned a lot. That's from Enoch. Appreciate that. Thanks. This fake stuff being sold as legit. Yeah, a bunch of fake stuff on. I've seen it on Poshmark. I've seen it on Mercari and OfferUp. Jerseys are out of control. Fake. Will the Dolphins have a winning season this year? Every off season, in my head,
You say
Dolphins
yes.
are going to have a winning season.
Yeah.
So that's my response. Let me see. Take the bee out of the bins. Yeah, we did that. That's where the bee was like barely picking. He was like,
That's where I got
man,
yelled at.
I need gloves.
Remember?
Yeah. All right. So anything else we can talk about that? Explain about taking chances on items where there are not a lot of inventory on eBay or other platforms.
If you have the money to sit on it, I'd say expect for the worst to happen, that it's gonna sell longer. And if you have that extra money, go take the risk, because you don't want to. If you only have less capital and you use it on risk like that, that's gonna hurt your growth if it doesn't sell right away. Because you don't want to build your business on an if model. What if I could triple this? What if that's why the research plays a lot more factor in reselling on eBay, because you have that kind of trend that you can follow. But if there's not a lot of solds or listings, that's just lesser chances. So that's my take on that.
There we go. Totally agree. Mr. Sadie, what's up? Good to see you here. All right. So let's get into Hustle B's top 10 rookie eBay mistakes. Now, what was the month and date that you kind of started around when?
Well, it was February of 2017.
Okay, February 2017. All right. So there's not going to be in a particular order. We just have 10 of them. And we're going to talk a little bit about his experience and what happened. And then I'll throw in my 2 cents. And then, of course, everybody in the chat, anything you want to throw in. So a lot of the rookie eBay sellers that are coming in, I think this will probably be a little bit more beneficial on what's going on, especially if you're a little lost and you've made some mistakes recently. So, all right, the first one. You want me to read them or you want to read them?
The first one is picking up low demand sizes. So when I started, I got a little bit momentum going and stuff like that. And then next thing I know, let's just put in an example, the Nike Untouchable twos. Good looking shoe. They sell for a lot of money. You know, it ranges from 60. I've sold Untouchable two from $60 up to $280. So picking it up for 16.99 at Burlington, was seems like a good deal right off the bat. But the thing that I made a mistake on was picking up sizes that were not really appropriate for the sport. For example, untouchable twos, I didn't do enough research that untouchable twos are for the faster players.
Yeah,
Let's
like a
say
wide receiver or
wide receiver, corners, and stuff like that. And the mistake I did was picking up size 16, size 14, size 17. Just like giant sizes. And typically these are your linemen, and the linemen really hardly wear the molded cleats. Based on my research, they actually wear the rubber bottoms. So they're the ones that get undercut more, so they don't want their foot to be stuck on the turf or the ground with the molded cleats or the molded bottoms. So um, when you're trying to start, you have to pay attention to those. Picking up size 13 soccer cleats. And just saying no to that. Just because the shoe model is good doesn't mean you have to pick it up. It goes the other way. You don't want to pick up uh, soccer cleats in men's at size 6. There's kids size 6, but there are men's size 6.5 and 7. So those are just mistakes that I did when I started. So what's your take on it?
And that's kind of like even the example before we even started, which was saying that just because the cleats are low price doesn't mean you have to pick them up. If, and like in the case we're saying, the size wasn't there, size 15, 16, 17 in untouchables, because they're $20 doesn't mean we have to get them.
Mhm.
And just know that you're going to be in it for a long haul to sell something like that, because the size isn't really there relatable to the sport. You said size 13 in soccer cleats, which might take a little bit longer as well. I've sold a couple of size 13, but it's taken a while. Like,
Yeah,
and also
exactly.
depends on what the price you got it. So, um, that comes into play. Of course, basketball's totally different. You have a lot of giant foot basketball
Yeah,
players out there that need to find some of these shoes. They're like, man, they want size 16, 17, 18 because they can't even find them when they go to the regular store. So
mm,
some of that stuff, yes, like they do need. But football, and then if they're playing cornerback, if they're playing wide receiver, like, does this
right.
really make sense? So you're
Yeah.
kind of putting yourself in a position, sport wise, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Um,
So yeah, I mean that plays the research game. Just because at first I had success doing it doesn't mean I can go all in on all of this model. Size, as Mr. Sadie says, so size matters. Yes, it does.
yes, size does matter. Let me see. Next one, number two.
Okay, so, yeah, number two is capital awareness. So it ties back to our number one issues that I had. My top mistake because of when I started, I actually sold a lot of my Jordan shoe collection. If you can see in the back, I still have a few left, but um, having that capital awareness is very important because when you're starting, you want to build up capital, you want to grow. Uh, so let's say, example, I sell I sold my Jordan 13s, uh, the He Got game. I sold it, and then I one of my biggest mistakes is I sold it, and then I picked up the size 15 football, the really low end soccer cleats, indoor cleats, the Tiempo Genial. So those hurt my growth uh, because instead of waiting and saying no to that certain inventory and waiting for the high end size 9 Superfly or Obras, or some Kobe Elites, investing that shoe on a better product or investing that money on a better product uh, is so much better than just trying to buy something just because it's cheap. So be aware of your capital because uh, from what I've seen and what I've experienced, capital is very important, especially in the shoe game, and especially when you're trying to grow.
Yeah, so I mean, you're getting rid of one of your, precious collector shoes, and then you're using that money, and then you end up buying crap models that are not going to move. Then yeah, it's going to stun your growth because you really, really need that money, especially in the very beginning. It's kind of like you're working backwards. Like, oh man, now I have this. What do I do now? Especially that stuff isn't moving. So kind of like we talked about before, looking at it as an investment, like if you're just going to the store, you find a certain shoe, you're looking at it because you believe this shoe is going to make you money and you can grow upon that. Not like, hey, these are some cool kicks, I'm going to pick them up, I think they're cool, and that's it. Or they look cool for the gram, they look cool for YouTube, things like that. You're looking at it because you feel confident that this investment's going to make you money. um Larry talking about football jerseys. I haven't seen them in my area, but shout out to my boy Root out there who found the Charles Woodson super jealous elite jersey. That one, he's gonna make really good money on that. So shout out to Root. There we go. He did $12.99. So that one's an awesome jersey. So who knows? There should be some pretty good ones coming out there. Brian says found a Cam Newton Nike Army at Ross, $35. So that's pretty cool. Let me know what kind of Nike jerseys come out. I was on the prowl today, didn't find any, but I'm glad to see that Ross is getting those. Paper Drew, remember you're not shopping for you. That also comes into play because, like, in your head, you're like, that also happens a lot, actually. When a lot of the emails that I get, a lot of people are like in my head because I see that this model looks cool or has really cool colorway or something about it, or even like I saw a LeBron logo or a Kobe logo. It has to be worth something. And without doing the research, just buying it, and then you look and it's like a Mamba Instinct,
Yeah.
but it's not anything that's really going to bring you really good money. And then that's where like we see some problems there.
Yep.
All
So
right. Number three.
number three was doing too much at the same time, or mastering your niche. Um, when I started, I actually had a eBay drop shipping account, and that's what really got me in trouble. If you guys don't know, I got suspended by eBay due to the fact that my other account that was linked to my current account was below standard. I have a drop shipping account. Um, I was making about at that time I was making about I was doing 10,000 in my 31 day, but I was only netting 10%. So I had so it was very low because your profit each item was very low, and and I got suspended because it got below standard because I would fulfill late. It would get to the buyer later than what I told the buyer to that I would get them, and I had to cancel a few sales because they went out of stock. So at that time, I was still learning the shoe game, um, or the eBay shoe game, or selling on eBay. I still had the drop shipping account, and then I fell in love more with selling the shoes, so I really didn't pay attention to my drop shipping account. Hence, I got suspended. So luckily, I was able to get my account back, but eBay told me to shut that account down. So I was cool with that. So that was a really big lesson, and it was a very good lesson to learn from the start, because if I hadn't learned that lesson, I would have been all over the place when I started. I would have tried this, I would have tried that, I would have tried Amazon, Mercari, Poshmark right off the bat. And this happened within 6 months of my selling journey on eBay. So 6 months may seem long, but in 6 months, that's a lot of learning that you have to take on to try to master multiple platforms, right? So the biggest thing that we corrected it, me and my wife dedicated everything to just 1 year full time of eBay, and then that's when we opened our Poshmark account. So at least give yourself 1 year on one platform. If you're doing it full time, I'd say 1 year is good enough time to cover all the grounds and just master the basics and stuff. But if you're doing it part time, you got to be a little bit more patient because you have less time that you want to spend in it. So that was the biggest thing. Don't do too much at the same time.
And this also comes when you're just starting out. There's a lot of videos and posts about there might be like, hey, this platform is out there, and then you're
Yep.
like, oh man, so and so's doing Amazon FBA, and I gotta get an FBA. So and
Yep.
so's doing merch by Amazon. I mean, I gotta get into merch. So and so's doing Etsy and Poshmark, and I gotta do this, I gotta do that, which you don't, especially if you haven't mastered the first one. So if you haven't mastered the first one, you're gonna end up not doing anything at all because you're gonna be trying like little parts here and there of each platform, and you're gonna get overwhelmed, and then nothing is really happening. So trying to do too much, especially in the very beginning, you really have to focus on number one, what you love doing. That's always number one, because if you don't love what you do, don't even try to do some of the other ones. You're gonna get lost in there. You have to love what you do. Um, and just not paying attention to a lot of the outside people and what they're doing or money they're making, because you're not them, you're yourself. You got to build that up on whatever you want to do. So it's not going to be for everybody. It's not like, I mean, people have probably asked, I know they've asked you, especially in a lot of the workshops, like, hey, Hustle B, do you do merch by Amazon?
Right, exactly. Because
You're
just
like,
because we're friends, I everybody assumes that I can get all the tips from Glenn, and I could be successful. I think I can. I mean, we're friends. We talk every day, but the fact that I don't like it, I'm not into it. I think it's just it goes against what I'm doing, right? The reason why I quit my job and went full time on this because I love this. I hated the job. So I hated having something that I'm not excited waking up to. So doing a different thing that I'm not excited about is just like me personally going back to my old job. So I don't want that. So you have to love it. You have to love it.
Larry says, "What do you say your sweet spot is for soccer cleats for men? Like eight, 8.5, 9, 9.5, maybe 10. Just depends on the model. I've always done well. Now, what I like about women's cleats is like they give you a different chance because for the most part, maybe like 7, 8, maybe 9 have been selling pretty decent. But then the big sizes sell well because they can convert for the men's
Men's,
if
yep.
men want to wear them. So
And
I've
yeah,
seen a
and
little
then
bit of
you
both.
have yeah, and then the women colorway is exclusive for women. So they got some cool colorway too.
Yeah, I think the only ones that might be a little bit tough to move on both of them are like when you're getting like a size 6,
Yep.
six and a
And
half.
anything under 7 really.
Yeah,
It's not,
they're really, really
you're
small. Even
thinking about
7
kids
sometimes have
sizes.
been tough.
Yeah. You're thinking your kids. And but at the end we say that in the preface that you still have to do your research. Just
Yeah.
because 9 is good, there could be 1,000 size 9s there. So that's still not a good buy.
Yeah, you still got to do the research. The model is different. The
Yep,
colorway is different. The bottom is probably different since there's so many different bottoms of the cleats. So
exactly.
yeah, a lot of factors in there. All right, number 4.
Number 4 is I hate this. Uh, Having friends and family this weekend gives me flashbacks. So number 4 mistakes was not realizing fees. So as you know, I don't know. I have to pay my eBay fees by the 15th. Is that the same with you, Glenn?
Mine's at the end of the month. No,
Okay.
no, I don't know. I think it is 15th. I gotta
Yeah. So
double
you
check.
get the invoice by the end of the month, but you have until the 15th to pay it.
Yeah.
So when I started, the biggest mistake I did was um, spending that money that wasn't really mine. As you guys know, we owe eBay 10% or less if you're top rated seller for the final value fees. So eBay will give that to you, but they will get that back at the end of the month. So my biggest mistake is, for example, I mean, a perfect example was this, friends and family sale coming up, and I have a huge bill for eBay fees. This this exact time I had $1,500 that I owe eBay that I had to pay within the next 3 days. Plus the sale was coming this weekend. So that hurt my growth, and that hurt my opportunity to win and source good products, because that money that I thought that I can spend for the weekend was not really mine. So so you have to be mindful and aware. It's not hidden. It's on your seller dashboard. You'll see how much you owe on eBay. You have to be aware of that, because if you're spending that money that you're supposed to be for the bills, and you've spent it for the inventory today, that could hurt you the next week or the next weekend for a better opportunity to buy. So what we do now to correct that is, I try to pay my balance every end of the week, or when I have a stellar day. When I have $1,000 day, I know I could just give $300 back to my fees to lower it, and I just try to keep it under $500 at the same time, because man, just giving eBay more than $500. I know I owe it to eBay, but that hurts. It hurts. I guess it's just a mental game by then.
Yeah, and Tom asked, when are they going to start doing net payments? I keep waiting on that.
True, but at the end of the day, you have a choice to sell on eBay or not, right? You can just go to Poshmark and do that. But again, that's as a as a person that doesn't own eBay or trying to make money off of eBay. I think that's your responsibility. We can't blame eBay for that. We knew that that's how it is.
Yeah, we know that's how it is, but can they improve? Definitely.
Yeah, for sure, but I doubt they will. I think it's a payment processor. Maybe when PayPal leaves, when that new thing comes in, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, that would be cool. They could do that. Who knows? Might be something they could do once PayPal is over and done with eBay and their little, I guess, business they have right now working together. Let me see. So number 5. Want to go ahead?
Number 5 is no inventory system or shipping system. So the reason why I had this behind me, because when I started, I had all my shoes in racks, just like this. So it's easy when they're unique, right? Like this one, like Jordan 1, 3, and 4. I'm 5, 6, or something. It's easy to identify it. But when you start having multiples of the same exact model but different sizing, it takes a while. So when I have to fulfill 10 shipments a day, and then I have to double check everything, where's size 9, where's size 10, that slowed me down, and that kind of like drains me. Next thing you know, me and my wife are arguing, like, where did you put the size 10? And then it got put in a different rack, and it was just misplaced. So up until maybe until what until I reached 1,000 listings, I really didn't have any inventory system. So imagine the mess every morning that I have to go through to ship stuff. So the way we fixed it is, now we pre-box everything. All the shoes that doesn't have a box, it is put in on a shoebox priority mail box that we get from USPS for free, and it is labeled. We actually put a colored sticker, so green for soccer, blue for basketball, red for golf. And then we put the size in there. So now I know that when I'm trying to fulfill an order of a basketball, I just need to look for a blue dot, and then it is a size 9, and then the product code is written outside the box. So once I have that figured out, now it's just a breeze. Print everything, slap a label, it goes out pretty quick. So I think that was one of the biggest headache I had to deal with as a rookie.
There we go. Heard it from the man himself. Building that up. Let me see. Let me go back. I think this thing froze. Okay, there we go. We're good. Caroline, good to see you. Yes, you are late. What did you miss? Nothing much. We talked just about Kawhi Leonard. And that's pretty much it. Any golden Air Max 97s out there? I haven't seen any. I haven't even seen one.
Yeah,
Out
that
there.
I don't think that went out. The only Air Max 97 Oh, they're the women's.
Yeah.
I've seen one. Um,
Uh, Caroline asks when Glenn will seller fees ever go down. um, what? Our sonority kicks in. I've been selling out of the womb. Fees have been going up. They haven't been going down
yeah, I don't
as
think
time
it'll ever
goes
go
on.
down. Just get the top rated plus. You get 10% off of your final value fees bill at the end of the month.
Ping of the
Um,
Penguin, what's up?
what's up? What's up? Fallible shoes are back. I guess Glenn found one. I haven't.
Yeah, they're back, but the market is
Yeah, ruined.
a little a little unsteady. So, all right, that's a good one with the inventory system. We had that one check. So we're halfway done. Any random comments you want to throw in? Let us know before we keep going. We're at 5 left, and people always say, hit the thumbs up. You don't have to do anything I tell you to do, but if you want to do it,
Just
it's
hit the
clearly
thumbs
right
up.
there. All right, number 6. Go ahead.
Number 6 is we titled this the Tempo Genio. Rookie sourcing. Just flat out ignorance of what a top tier soccer cleats or a low tier soccer cleats is. I didn't have a clue. I didn't play soccer. I didn't watch soccer. I haven't held a soccer cleat in my hand until I started eBay selling. So the biggest thing was I saw this. They were on the outlet for 1997 extra 30% off. Next thing you know, I had like 2 bags full of it. Spent all my precious $200 for this Tiempo Genios. And lo and behold, I didn't do enough research. I got home and it's like, what? There's Tiempo Legend? Like, the next thing I know, I just looked up Tiempo soccer cleats. And I didn't know that there were different tiers of soccer cleats or football cleats. There was low and high end. They look the same. All Tiempos look the same, but they're not built the same, right? So I realized that the hard way. So I literally had to I didn't return it because they still sold, but I only made $5 each shoe basically. So that was the biggest rookie mistake when it comes to sourcing that you might want to double check because Tempo Legend and Tempo Genio is so far away from the price range where you're trying to sell your shoes. So yep, I had my fair share of picking up Dookie.
And so you're pretty much learning like the tier level of cleats, which even now for me, like I even made a mistake on the last out hustle that you clearly saw. Like I mean, super flies, there's different, I mean, FG, AG, SG. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell are all these? Like, I don't play the sport, so I mean, it takes longer to learn a lot of these things than Hypervenom Phantom and then, Magista Obra and like all these different names. You're like, what's going on here? And you really have to learn kind of like the tier levels of them. And it does take time. Even if you go watch the very first Out Hustled, me and Ken go to Houston and Dallas. We bought a bunch of Dookie green cleats for kids that didn't move, and
Didn't move, literally. I still have some of them.
so I mean, I'm no guru or some type of. I make videos; they're fun. I want to help people. I make mistakes. I'm a human. I'm a mere mortal.
Yeah.
Things happen. And those are one of the bad buys. Even the very first Out Hustle too. So you can watch it. It's clearly there. And yeah, I ended up just selling them to get my money back. And even then it took a while to get the money.
Yeah.
So a lot of like learning the tier level on the sports, like in that case, at the same you can say the same thing for Jordans. I mean, retro Jordan, team flight Jordans.
Yeah.
And then I mean there's lower end models of even that, and you can also just make the mistake of like, well, this is even a retro Jordan. Maybe later on when you get home and you're like, oh man, like this is not going to sell well. So yeah, kind of learning that. That's gonna take some time. Um, especially the soccer ones. They don't mess around. Let me go back. Let me see. Let me go back up. I have some pretty good questions in here. So let me see. Caroline, how was your time in your brother's area? Will you do it more often? I don't know. I did like Austin though. I wouldn't live there, but they did have pretty good
They
just
have quite a lot of stores.
yeah, variety of stores kind of mixed in there.
Yeah,
Their outlets do kind of suck because there's one in San Marcos, there's another one in Georgetown, kind of near Round Rock, and the problem is it's kind of like a tourist type of one,
yeah,
so they don't have to have price like best prices
yeah.
or
It's a
best
nice outlet.
deals.
Basically, it's
Yeah, they know they're gonna get the customers regardless. So their outlets, but the rest of the stores, they're pretty good. Let me see. Glenn and the B, does not offering returns really make that big of a difference in your sales? Personally, I don't offer returns because of the headaches. How many returns do y'all get or do on a monthly average?
we talked about this. My I just double checked mine. I think Glenn's was yours was 4%, right? When we talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
and mine was at 5 when we talked about it. But I just looked at it now. I'm down to 4.28%. So that's how much you figure the percentage there. Uh, I only got 94 returns out of my 2,194 transactions. So give that, I had 2,100 that went through, and I had 94 that went came back. So I don't. For some people, it's a headache. For me, it's part of the business. It's a necessity. I don't. I haven't seen. For me personally, a sporting goods store that doesn't take a return, right? So you have to take a return, especially with how the e-commerce market is going where it's going. Amazon will take any return, even if it's the crappiest return. For me, as long as it's in the same good condition, I'll refund their money back. And if uh, there's problem with it, I just contact eBay. That's what they're there for. I've only had 3 bad returns. I contacted eBay, and eBay gave me my money back. So at the end of the day, what I've lost money on a shipping label basically, but that's not a headache for me. If I can still make money, I'm all for returns.
Yeah, and you're gonna get it. I mean, it happens from time to time, and you'd be surprised too about how many customers are lazy that they won't even ship it back.
Mhm,
And then some of them that do ship it back, if something's wrong with it, contact eBay. And even then, if nothing's wrong with it, everything's fine. For some reason, maybe it just didn't fit.
mhm.
They just want money back because they need the money. It's a bad buy for them. Resell it. You're probably gonna get a better, a good buyer regardless too. And we've seen it too, where we got an item back and it sold for more down the road. I mean, you never know. Depends on the item.
Yep.
Let me go back. Someone had a Poshmark question. Do you sell to new postures? Is it like eBay with no feedback?
I sell to everybody. I don't cherry pick my buyer. If they pay, they pay. I sell it to them. They say meaning scammers. You really can't tell if they're scammers. Like it's not like they're gonna put it on their username. I scam people. You know, uh, you don't know. But personally, in my experience, I've never had one person scam me. So take that as a reference.
There we go. He's unscammable.
Unscammable.
Be unscammable. Any advice for friends and family sale? I think we did do a full video on that. If you want to go back and listen to that one, it's a pretty good one.
Well,
But
it's simple. It's like any other day. Just do enough research, and when
the
you
bad things, you might have to do it fast because if there's a lot of other competition there, they might be moving quickly. And some people probably went today to already know where certain shoes are. So as soon as they open the
you
door,
have time.
people are running in there. It's a mini stampede, and they're getting whatever they already know is going to be a great deal with the 30% off. So that's also one of the things you can do. Also know that there are limits out there.
Yep. Just
Um,
read in the back of the card or the email.
and even some stores are different, like 10 per person or My store's starting to do 10 per person on friends and family, regardless of the style, like just
Yep.
10 shoes, period. And I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Yep. It depends. It's the manager's discretion. Too bad we don't own Nike, right? We don't. We can't make the rules. Got to play by the rules.
Yeah. Let me see. It just reminds me of like a random episode of Simpsons where like they all it's like a Black Friday and they all like run in
Yeah.
to the store and like Mo gets trampled because everyone just runs him over like they go into the store, but one guy at the end is wearing like golf cleats and steps on him. So I don't know, just kind of random. Just throwing it out there. All right, number 7.
Number 7, bad photos. Not putting enough effort or making it a priority. So when we started, um, I didn't think of it as very important. My photos were dark. It was taken a different time of the day, so I think it really didn't bring a good customer, right? When you're starting, you have less feedback and you have dark photos. As a buyer, where would you buy?
Yeah.
So you're trying to compete with the big dogs, with people that have more with more feedback than you, has been in eBay longer, and you're putting up a dookie photo. It's just like showing up on a job interview, not dressed properly or not dressed to impress. So um, the remedy that you could do is you could go outside and get the daylight. Too bad for me. I started in February, is in the middle of the winter here in Ohio, so it got dark at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and it was gloomy all the time. So and it was just too cold outside to take photos. So I fixed that by investing in a $45 light kit that I got from Walmart or something like that. I thought it was a cheap lighting, but it does the trick. Our photos are 100% better than when we started. It's your first impression to your potential customer. Look at it that way. I've learned my lesson because I didn't do it the right time, right when I started. So photos are important. So it's your first impression to the buyer.
So yeah, that's the bad photos. And that's gonna be kind of the struggle, I think, the very beginning, or even some of the lack of photos. Like some people just have like one or two. Try to get as many as possible. Just try to get better at it because you're gonna look at it when you're taking the photo. Does it look good? Does it look clear?
Hmm.
Um, you know, does it make sense? Does it look good? It just can't just be like thrown on there. You have to get better. Would you buy it if you were the customer and you saw it on there? Does it look good? So um
Exactly.
yeah, try to, figure that out when it comes to the photos. You might have to invest in a light kit, might be kind of cheap, might be expensive, but don't go too crazy, but at least buy a decent one. So,
True. True.
let me see. Yes, Young does look different.
Yep.
Very different. He's also way younger now too. Let's see. All of the Nike employees and Nike outlet here are jerks and not friendly. Two registers open, long lines. When you use your discount, they always act like you're scamming them. Here's the funny thing: at my outlet, if there's me and like 3 or 4 other people with 10 pairs, we're considered evil bulk buyers. So
Hmm.
we have to stay on an opposite little side, line
Yeah.
where only one person is going to help us.
Yeah.
If you
Exactly.
have less than that and you don't seem like an evil reseller, then go right ahead, man. Go ahead. Like whatever you have, we'll go.
Well,
And there's like 4 people on register ready to go.
well, here's the thing that you can combat it, right? Uh, what How they treat you can't control, but you can control how you treat them. So leading to these days, I think when you're trying to go full time or you want to do this more often, this is when relationship becomes important. So what I've done through the year of selling is I've made friends with the manager, made friends with the cash register, made friends with everybody that wanted to be my friend. That way, when sale happens and when the other evil resellers show up, I'm the good reseller. I get VIP treatment. They bring out the cart for me.
There's
So
carts. We
they
don't have
check me out
carts.
individually. So that's one thing that you can do. Um, don't be salty at them because you're not gonna get anything away from that. So build relationship, get to know the managers, get to know the employee. Because if you think that you want to be good at this, then you have to treat everybody like they're your asset.
Be like, oh, there's that dude again. I knew he was gonna show up today.
Yep, exactly.
Well, reverse the game. Exactly. So he's all the resellers high five this one guy in the Nike store. And a lot of
There you
the
go.
and some of the resellers too that I noticed that they're always like returning stuff. Those are the ones they hate the most because they know what they're
Exactly.
doing. They know they're gonna come with returns, and then now they got to reprocess all that stuff over again. So
Yeah.
also, if you're not one of those, that also helps. I don't know
Mhm.
about you having carts at your outlet. We don't have carts.
No, I mean it's not the cart. It's like it's a rolling cart. Have you seen that? Like they use that to restock the cart. Have you seen that? Like a two-story cart. It's just a flat cart.
Mm-mm.
Have you seen that? Oh, they use that to restock their product. But when I'm buying more than 10 at a time and stuff like that, so me and my wife go right. So I can get 10 and she can get 10. So we load up 20 on those carts and they push it to the counter for us.
Diana says a U-boat is what it's called, which is hilarious. But no, we don't have those in outlets. My outlet's out here in the desert. Your outlet sounds like luxury, where you said you come in, they treat you well, they powder you up, you got all your makeup on, do your nails. All right, let's go to the next one, number 9.
Number 9. Oh, we're still number 8, bro.
Number
I
8.
liked it. Number 8. Do not believe the hype. Hype is what you see on Instagram and all those hashtags. Buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, because it's gonna make you thousands of dollars. I did that. My biggest lesson was all the Ray Dunn mugs and bowls. I bit the hype. I tried to resell it, and it sucked because one, I'm not a mug kind of guy selling dude. I'm not a bowl selling guy. I'm a shoe guy. But I bit the hype because everybody was flipping it, was selling it. So I invested money on it, and still my money is still in it and stuck because I believe the hype.
Ray Dunn mugs and bowls. I remember they had like the dog bowls for a while. I think they still have
Yeah,
them too.
yeah.
Yeah, I still I still see them all around. Um, but yeah, the Ray Dunn stuff. I never picked up any of the things, but I did see them a lot. I guess if it's part of your niche and you can sell it, then go ahead. But I think going out of that, you also have to think of like if I'm gonna ship this mug or bowl, I want to make sure it's padded well, make sure it's not, you know, not gonna break. And compared to shoes, it's like way easier to ship that. Now you got to really put some thought into this. It's gonna take some time to make sure this bowl or mug or plate or whatever you're selling gets there in one piece. So that also takes a while. Diana says a mystery boxes, which is hilarious. Uh,
Yeah. Do you know that? Have you seen that?
yeah, I've seen
When
him.
I bought the mystery box, I got like a Dookie Vans and I don't even know what the other one was. A New Balance. Still have them. I might raffle it off.
Oh man, yeah, we're gonna start selling some Hustler Hacks hustle bundles. Random leftover inventory that I have and put it together, and we'll charge a ridiculous amount. And then you can send them away and be like, oh, yeah, here's these things are awesome. And then we'll pay
AKA
somebody to do a review.
AKA shipping trash.
Exactly. Pay
Just throw
somebody to
it
do a
away
review.
the bin. Like there's like a donation thing. Some people might be able to reuse it, but don't try to go out there and try to scam people.
It's tough out there.
Yeah.
Diana says, "Yeah, I got a few of them boxes. Laugh out loud." All right, let me see. Let me go back to see those questions. What's the difference between Nike outlet store and Nike clearance store and Nike factory store?
A lot.
Well,
Um,
Nike outlet store and factory store are pretty much the same thing. They
there's
kind of
only
just
factory and clearance.
yeah, factory and clearance. Clearance store, you're probably not going to find anything complete with the box sometimes, but they have them on the racks. Most of the time, they're like 20 to 30% off whatever deal they have going on. And most of the time, they're way more expensive than the factory store,
Yeah.
even though they're supposed to
So
be clearance.
yeah, so the clearance is basically a back wall.
Yeah, one
I mean,
huge back
it's
wall.
literally the Nike clearance store is literally what you see on the clearance section of a Nike factory, but the whole store is all clearance. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more one-offs, but like Glenn said, it's more expensive really because they jack up the price. They give you that fake sale thing.
Yeah, you can also watch the Last Out Hustles. You can see what they look like, the difference between both. That question actually from Modern B.
Oh my
So
gosh,
he's kind of like
better
you,
be
but sophisticated and well dressed and
sophisticated.
showers.
Yep.
Let me go back. Let me see. I got some Jordans in the restock today. Yeah, I barely saw that way later, but they had the restock today on the
Oh, I
sneakers
saw
app.
it. Nothing. Nothing. I had a chance to buy it because I literally got the notification. I mean, I was actually in the sneakers app, doing it, but I was able to add sizes and stuff like that. But I'm not really trying to spend 100. I mean, $200 to make $50. Barely $50. That's not my business model.
Hustle and Silence has a pretty good explanation of what Ray Dunn is. They're plain dishware with a word written on them, such as lame or
Yeah.
dookie.
Yeah.
You get
Exactly.
words like that, and they're in like in a weird. It's just like a very kiddish, scribbleish type of font, I
Yep.
guess. Okay, number 9.
Number 9, being envious of people getting massive fines. When I started, I didn't know Burlington exists. I didn't know Ross existed. Then I went to Google it, and I found out that I only have Burlington Coat Factory stores around my area, and the closest Ross was 2 hours away. So poor B, Glenn always comes out with Ross finds of the week. I feel left out. I'm all out there in the corner and says, "How? When will I ever be so lucky to have a Ross?" And then I realized that it was just a waste of time because being envious of people was not really a good use of my effort and my mental strength. I was just basically discouraging myself. Is really you have to make the most out of what you have. Uh, you know, uh, Glenn says this all the time to me that I'm spoiled with my Nike because I have 4 Nike outlets that I can go to within an hour. He has one, so he has a lot of Ross, and I have no Ross. So there you go. Especially when you're starting as a rookie, uh, be in that inspired mentality and not being envious because one thing that you could really hurt yourself is when you're trying to focus too much on what you don't have instead of focusing on things that you do have around your area.
Like, man, I really wish I had a Ross right about now. Watching this Ross find of the
Yeah,
week,
exactly. Trying to
episode
learn.
number 70. Like, man,
Exactly.
stupid Ross. Yeah, so that can happen. In the stores, like people have Gabe's in their area, and I'd never seen one until we finally went, and they had some pretty good stuff too, which but never really would have known until I got out of this area and see what else is out there. But I think there's just various stores. People have different things in their area, even people that finds you'll never see in your area. So why focus on that and look for those items or feel like, oh man, I really gotta get that if you may never even get it. Focus on what you have in your area, and do the research on those items, because that also comes with the question. The rookie question on emails is like, Glenn, what do I look for? It's like, I don't really know what even stores you have. I don't even know where you're at, where you're located. Don't necessarily look for an item. Research the items that you have in your area, then go from there, because I have no clue what you have. Um, that's probably what we would approach it as. Glenn, will you do a Nike video tomorrow for friends and family? Yes, sir, I will. I'll try to get that out. Maybe well, I still gotta edit that and some of the other ones. So maybe by Saturday, hopefully I can get that out. Let me see. I was like, damn, I really gotta do these discount. Went to one out of town and it was Dookie.
Yep, I don't have a discount either. So take
Yeah.
that.
All right, you want to go number 10? Last one.
Number 10 was I spent too much time sourcing and didn't have enough time listing it. So when we were starting, of course, get too hyped up, following the hashtags, seeing the hauls, seeing the finds of other people. I made a mistake of sourcing too much and not listing them. So I had a death pile and I was missing out on a lot of opportunity. Every minute that passed was an opportunity for my product to sell. But instead, I was sourcing even though I only had $50, even though just not enough to make it worth my time to go out. So then, me and my wife invented the 24-hour rule. Everything needs to be listed within 24 hours of buying it. So that helped us streamline the process, and that helped us take advantage of every opportunity or every minute that our product is out there on eBay. Because when your product is listed, that's pretty much the last step of uh, before making a sale. So that was a pretty bad mistake.
I mean, sourcing is like the fun part. I mean, that's like, so it's like you're going out there, like, man, let's see what I find today. I'm feeling good. Man, I know Ross is gonna pull through. And then, oh man, there's nothing today at Ross. But anyway, you're going out there and you're super pumped, but yet you have like 20 pairs of shoes sitting there that haven't been listed yet. Thus, of course, you came up with the 24-hour rule to make sure this stuff is out there. It happens a lot. I mean, you want to keep sourcing, of course, but you're not going to make a sale if none of this stuff is listed. So buying it, listing it, selling it, shipping it. I mean, all of you have to go in a row. You have to have your steps ready. You can't just source and just be like, oh man, I'm going to make a bunch of money. You're not going to make anything if it's not listed. So you have to make that pretty much. I mean, it's just as important as sourcing. So you have to do that and get that out there and listed. So I like that rule. I started to implement it myself too, because I started to notice that I was like, yeah, what am I doing? This is money waiting here, sitting
Yeah,
here. It's
exactly.
not gonna do anything with it just being here if it's not listed. So I like that. Um, Let me go back. Schedule your sourcing to 1/3 of the time you actually list. Zero death piles. That way, use 1 day a week to list things you don't want to list. So that's the thing too. So now me and B, we don't have any death piles. When I had
Sure.
more death piles when I focused more on like thrifting and things like that, because there's also clothing at the time that I picked up. It looks good, and then I come home, maybe even after I wash it, or very good details. Now I'm looking at it. Hey, this jersey has a hole in the back that I really didn't see. Or I was like, ah, man, now I didn't really think that this is going to sell well as much as I probably thought at the time. Things like that that go through your head that you're really looking at the product. But ever since really just kind of focusing on the shoe part and or brand new items, let's say even new jerseys from Outlet or Ross, like those North Carolina ones, I didn't have that type of problem in Death Pal anymore. Like it was totally different. But it happens. So now you got to make sure you get away from the death pile and all that. So hustle in silence. I appreciate it. Shout out to us. and teachings. Planning on visiting El Paso for work in the next couple of months. There we go. El Paso, I'll be here.
Wow.
Looking forward to Out Hustled Atlanta, which, hey, nice little segue. Out Hustled Atlanta next month. We're getting all the details. We saw a pretty good place that we want to do the workshop in, and it's gonna be pretty cool. What I like about doing the workshop instead of just doing a random meetup is that we get to narrow it down to a place, to a venue that all of us can be in, and we get that attention to not just hang out, but of also a learning opportunity. And it's not
Right.
like we're not out here like overcharging, not like oh, $250 workshop, blah blah blah. We make it like super cheap, 20, $25, because we just want to get a venue. And we've had it in the past where we have a lot of people show up and then you don't even really know like who's here in this restaurant is for Out Hustled, who is just here eating, and it like throws things off. So it's like we want to just have it like
Be more
individual small
exclusive.
groups.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get more
exclusive small groups.
exclusive room, get a conference room, and also whoever's watching this, it's tentatively on August the 18th. So if you guys wanna write that down, if whoever's watching, get that down. If you guys need enough time or heads up, it's exactly a month from now.
Yeah,
So,
we don't have signups yet. We are gonna we're just getting the venue down. As long as we have that down, I'll do the signups, and then it is gonna be limited. Like we don't have it also to where it's like 50 people or 100 people or whatever. We have it limited. It's only gonna be like 25, 30 people because
yep.
we like it way better that way too, so that we can actually talk to everybody and figure out things and like relate to each other and do all that. Because
Get
when
to
things
answer
get
all of the questions
huge,
mostly too.
yeah, it just gets out of control. So I'll let everybody know when that's going to happen. Vegas is only going to be a meetup, so we don't have a venue or a workshop, anything like that. That's just going to be
It'll be in
like,
a restaurant.
yeah, that's just going to be like a chill meetup, free and
Yeah,
things
because
like
we're
that.
already
So
there for eBay Open. There's going to be a lot of tips and strategy that eBay's going to let us know. Of course, for us too, we want to learn what eBay has to say as well, and maybe we could implement it, and we'll give you guys a feedback through this channel. So hope you guys now it's just really getting to put a face on whoever's handle it is on
yeah, and we figured with eBay Open, that's already a lot of workshop and conference stuff. People are just going to be burnt out and tired. We just want to have fun and meet people and like hang
Yeah,
out
we'll be
for that
sleep
one.
deprived by the time by Friday comes.
Yeah. How
We'll
about Bay Area? We just came from there from Out Hustled about 4 months ago, maybe.
Yeah, earlier this year, right?
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be a while before we hit Bay Area again. Let me see. Let's see, August 8th. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, Diana. We'll be recording. We don't know yet. But we'll figure out something, and we're gonna do more of them throughout the rest of the year. I think we still have another one after that one, so there'll be plenty of times. And then next year, of course, we're trying to get that figured out too. So we'll keep that going. Need to know about Atlanta coming up from LA. Got to get a plane ticket. There we go. Yeah, I'll let you know for sure. You'll see plenty of announcements, emails,
Yeah.
Instagram and YouTube. I'll make sure everybody knows about it, and you can get your ticket
Yeah.
thing
Well,
for it.
when's the next for LA? LA, we just we did it, but the next thing in California for sure. We're trying to get there early next year. I'll be in San Diego, so I mean it's not too far away from LA. So
Yeah.
it will be definitely San Diego. We tried to do it by the end of the year this year, but it's just getting schedules just not lining up right. So that might be the first one we'll do next year for sure.
Yeah, we might do it next year. This year, we don't know yet. We're still trying to get everything scheduled because random stuff has kind of come up, and they come up quickly as far as different trips and be with his family. I went with my brother. Different things like this. I also have a merch by Amazon one that's coming up in Seattle. If you're in Seattle area, you do merch. That one's gonna come up in like I think September. Yeah, September. I'm gonna be doing the Chicago one, Ecom Chicago. That one is in October, so there's like random ones throughout. We're trying to like get everything organized, but San Diego is definitely gonna happen. We're just figuring out the dates. We do know Vegas is gonna happen because that's next week, and we do know Atlanta is gonna happen because that's next month. We're just clearing up the venue. So all 10, we're done. The B's rookie mistakes. Any
Yeah,
questions? Throw it in the chat.
I do make mistakes.
What part of the Philippines is B from?
I'm from Davao City, where our current president was our mayor for the longest time. So yes, Ateneo. I went to Ateneo. So Ateneo and LaSalle are like two big universities. It's so they're rivals. So yeah, go blue.
There we go. Diana, good to see you. Glad you joined us in the chat. Watch the video. We'll see you on the next one. Matt, is San Diego going to be a workshop? Yes, San Diego will be a workshop.
Yes, for sure.
Any other questions? Let us know. Man, we went over. It's already 6:15.
Yep.
But everyone pretty much stayed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else, let us know. We can review all 10 real quick. I'll just read them off.
Go ahead.
So number 1, picking up low demand sizes, learning the certain models and sizing. Example, size 15, 16 football cleats. Number 2, capital awareness, reinvesting in low end models. Selling your personal collection because you're a rookie. You need to get that capital and then you blow it on lower end models because you're not really doing the research and learning. Number 3, trying to do too much at the same time. You got to master your niche. What do you like to do? Number 4, not realizing the fees and you end up spending that money on sourcing. Number 5, no inventory system or the shipping system. And that's what he ended up building up as far as like his little stickers on what, basketball, soccer, football, things like that. Number 6, the Tempo Genio, learning the tier levels of different sports, cleats, things like that. Number 7, bad photos, not putting them as a priority and getting some better lighting, reinvesting in that. Number 8, don't believe the hype, buying the Ray Dunn mugs and bowls and plates and all that garbage. Number 9, envious of people getting massive fines. So not having a Ross, why focus on that? Focus on what you have. Go to those stores. Number 10, too much sourcing, not enough listing. He invented 24-hour rule. I'm done. Now I can breathe.
No death pile.
No death pile. Enrique, what's up? Just wanted to say hi. When's your next live chat? We might go live from eBay Open next week. So if it is, it'll be on a Wednesday. I don't know what time. I'll let everybody know. Any tips on Houston Nike outlets? Any better than the other? Not really. I mean, they're all pretty good. They all have their own little uniqueness and why they're good.
Time of the year too. So I guess you have to go through all. I mean, you can't. Let's say don't pass one. Go to all of them.
District Deal says number 11 is patience. The thing is with B, he has too much patience. He's even more patient than I am. So that actually wasn't one of his mistakes.
Yeah.
Even though we talked about it. Yeah. But yes, patience.
Yep.
Patience is one you do need. All right, we're good to go. I'll keep you guys updated. If you already signed up for Las Vegas, you're gonna get the email probably sometime in the next couple of days on where we're gonna meet up and what we're gonna do and the free giveaways. And then Atlanta, I keep everybody posted on that. It's probably going to be limited to 25 to 30 people max. So whenever I post it on there, keep that in mind if you're looking on going, because I know more and more people are looking forward to that one. It might go a little bit quicker because we don't have a lot of space. So we're keeping it 25, 30 people. So anything else, B, before we go?
Nope. We're good.
All right. There we go. See ya. Go out and get it.